let's move to Michigan State's latest visit they have lined up on the recruiting front for basketball. It's a guy you should be familiar with if you're a Michigan State basketball fan. Jase Richardson, son of Jason Richardson, not to be confused with Jase Howard, son of Jawan Howard, sons named Jase. Very important part of the state of Michigan's collective basketball identity these days. Depending on who you ask, wild, different, I guess, scouts on Jase. Some people think he is a legit prospect that could play at the best programs in the country. Some people think he's more of a mid-major player. He has, from what I've seen, definitely blossomed a little bit this year. Like, he looks like a different guy. He's getting a lot more notoriety. He's having more productive moments on a big stage at the grassroots level right now. So what do you make of Jase Richardson? He is visiting Michigan State in a week. Are you excited about Jase? Do you want Jase on Michigan State? And what's your expectation here of this recruitment?
Yeah, so with Jase Richardson, I will say this. I think you hit the nail on the head. He is a player who has improved a great deal over the last summer and has gotten better, and that's evident by he's also had a bump in most recruiting rankings as well. But for me, and I say this by saying that Jase Richardson is a good basketball player. I think he's good. I think if he wants to come to Michigan State, you take him. I understand why Michigan State is actively recruiting him as well. But with that said, every time I watch Jase Richardson, it just nothing's ever been like, wow, I want that guy, or wow, I see this guy being I don't know, a big time prospect or anything like that. I just never have necessarily seen that. He strikes me more as like a backup recruit type guy, like a guy you take if you don't get another guy. But with that said, there is something there. Obviously, his father played for Michigan State. And, this really feels like it's just a me thing because everybody else speaks very highly of him. And you look at his, recruiting list as well. I mean, right now, I'm pretty sure we're like head to head with Bama. And if Bama wants a guard, usually that bodes well, I guess. But every time I watch him, I just never really came away like, he's bad, but I never came away like, oh, this guy's really good. Like, I want this guy. And it really just might be a me thing.
If he wasn't Jason Richardson's son, we've done this with other guys before, but if his name was like Ben Williams and he was just a random dude, what do you think he's ranked? Because 24/7 has him the 52nd nationally ranked prospect, number one kid in Florida, 8th ranked combo guard, a 4-star recruit.
I think he'd be somewhere in the 80s.
Okay. So you think he's getting like a 30 spot bump off of whatever you want to call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he'd be somewhere in the 80s. But he's a take.
I think you're a little harsh on him, is my stance.
I know. I know I am.
Yeah. And I don't like to fight you on high school guys because in general, you're way more interested in that scene than I am. Honestly, I go to you for a lot of my opinions on this stuff. But from the tape that I have seen and from his offer list, I don't think you should have any hesitation with Jase, whether or not he was Jason Richardson's son. When you add to the fact that he is Jason Richardson's son, then he just becomes a priority recruit, maybe in a way that he wouldn't be, because it is fun. Like, you want program guys to be around the program, and that would be a really cool story. But I don't think that has any overarching pull on this. Like, I think he is a good player. I think athletically he can do. I mean, he's Jason Richardson's son. He's not Jason Richardson, but like, he's an athlete, and this isn't a Jase Howard situation where it was like, oh, he has some mid-major offers, but now he's going to come to Michigan. Maybe there's something there. Like, Jase is a high major player without question. I do agree with you though, because when I have watched any like full game setting of him, anytime there's been an opportunity to do so, I never come away feeling like he's the best player on the floor. But I don't think that necessarily is an indictment of him. Like, not all high school players can be the best player on the floor. And I think he can do things to affect winning without being like first option guy in a way that could translate to a role at Michigan State, because he's never going to be asked to be the first option guy at Michigan State, even if he hits. So I don't know. I think you should be excited about the recruitment. I think Michigan State's going to get him. Like, I'd be shocked if he didn't end up at Michigan State. Do you feel the same on that?
Yeah, I'd be shocked. But also, this bodes well. He has a younger brother, Jackson, who I really want. he's going to be really, really good. So that'll be good. Keep it in the family. Bring the Richardson clan along.
So just to summarize your feelings on nepotism, you are anti-nepotism across the board, except for when you're doing pre-nepotism to get the talented younger brother.
Yes.
Then you're pro-nepotism.
Yes. If you're doing pre-nepotism work, then I'm in.
Okay, but post-nepotism, like when you already got the good player, you owe nothing for nepotism. But when there is
Yes.
the good player still coming, like if you flipped, it's the Foster Lawyer Fletcher thing. Like
Yes.
you took Foster because Fletcher was coming, that just didn't pay off for Michigan State in the end.
Yeah.
But if you flip them, like you don't even give Foster the offer because you already got Fletch.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. All right.
With that said, I hope Jase Richardson is really good for Michigan State.
You have a lot of moving views on nepotism.
Yeah, it's an ever changing thing too.
So Michigan was right to take Jase because Jet was coming.
No, Jet would have came without Jase.
I don't know. Rick Barnes wanted Jet, man.
Really? Really?
Oh, I don't know. Does the name Jace scare you at all? You got to be honest. Like the name Jace has to scare you.
Yeah, but the thing is, his name is he's Jason Richardson Jr. And I've never ever seen this. Jase is short for Jason. I don't think Jace Howard's name is Jason. I think his name is literally just Jase.
It is Jace. They're spelled differently too. I just think it's a massive missed opportunity to not go by Jason Richardson Jr. Like his name literally should be JR Jr.
Yes.
Insane name and insane.
Lean into it. Lean into
please. You have such an opportunity there. Izzo chugging along, man. Top of the world right now.
No one can stop that man.
Best in the world.
A cup of Buffalo Trace and grit, just getting it done.
Are there any other sons coming up? Like, does Kelvin Torbert have a son that's
it was actually pretty. It was pretty good. I think he's playing at Okemos now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Who else? What's Mateen's kid? There's a lot of kids going on.
Yeah, I think Mateen's got a son who's pretty good too.
Okay. So is Steven Izzo coaching all these kids to a Final Four in a couple years?
I hope not.
Okay. All right. Well, so when does Jace commit? Does it happen on this visit or no?
I think he'll still take his Bama visit, but I think it'll be fairly soon.
Okay.
But he's going to take that Bama visit.
All right. Well, I feel like we got to talk you into Jace a little more. I think you're a little too down on Jace.
Yeah, people have been trying to. Maybe I'll get there eventually.
Shocker. People have been trying to talk you into someone that's going to end up in Michigan State. Shocker.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Shocker. If he ends up at Bama, are we going to talk out of him?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'll pray on his downfall though, but whatever.